Back to the breaking news from the top of the newscast. A jury finds former Uvalde school police officer Adrian Gonzales not guilty on all 29 charges for his actions during the shooting at Robb Elementary School. Senior crime and justice reporter Rebecca Lopez was in the courtroom and is live with some new reaction.
Chris, I was in the courtroom and it was very emotional. Just before the verdict was read, some of the victims' families were praying, some were crying. They really wanted somebody held responsible for the profound failures of law enforcement that day. But after 2 weeks of testimony and 36 witnesses, the decision came down to the 12 men and women in the jury box, tasked with deciding whether Adrian Gonzales should be held criminally responsible for what happened inside Robb Elementary. Prosecutors argued Gonzales had a duty to do more, to move towards the gunfire, to stop the shooter, and to stop the dying. Defense attorneys countered that Gonzales was one of 5 officers who entered the school, came under fire, and put himself in danger. In the end, they felt prosecutors did not prove their case.
They said there was gaps in the evidence. They appreciated us bringing out those gaps. They considered everything. They were very diligent. They worked very hard back there. They were very mindful and deliberate.
When the not guilty verdict was read, grief filled the courtroom. Victims' families cried openly. One father sobbed as the decision sank in. For them, it marked the end of years of waiting for someone to be held accountable. Throughout the trial, families voiced frustration with prosecutors, saying they weren't prepared. Many left the courtroom believing their children never received justice.
Because I made a promise to my son that I would never stop fighting. And you know, this country, the state already made a liar out of me once when I swore to him that I would never let anything bad happen to him. They made a liar out of me.
Adrian Gonzales was asked what happens next to him, and he said that he was just going to do his best to move on. Live in Uvalde, rather live in Corpus Christi. I'm Rebecca Lopez. Back to you guys.
Yeah, Rebecca, what about the other trial that's tied to this mass shooting?
Look, the chief of police, the former chief of police of that school district, Pete Arredondo, still is set to go to trial. He faces 10 counts of child endangerment. So the families are hoping that that verdict will be differently than this one. Back to you guys.
All right. Thank you, Rebecca. And just to let you know, we're still gathering more reaction from Corpus Christi and Uvalde, and we'll have new details coming up tomorrow morning on Daybreak. A legal expert will break down the verdict and what's next for the victims and their families.